November 121 Mike, your turn. Taxiing 111.
Hi, I'm Mike Thompson, and welcome to 121 Point Mike. This video is all about fuel. Fuel, of course, is what we put in the plane before we can go flying. The fuel is a mixture of hydrocarbons that drive the engine, and whatever propulsive device might be attached to it. It's a propeller if you're just learning to fly, but if you're further along in your pilot journey, it's probably a large fan. So, you might have heard me say hydrocarbons a second ago and wonder what the heck those are. Well, they are chains of carbon atoms surrounded by hydrogen atoms. Hydrocarbons. Simple enough. At one end of the spectrum is methane, or methane, which only has one carbon. You might have heard of propane. That's a hydrocarbon too. But the one we're most likely using is octane. I'm sure you've heard of that. Oct means 8, doesn't it? So you can guess how many carbons this one has. Octane's chemical formula is C8H18, and it looks like this. Our fuel is mostly octane, and it has an octane rating of 100. But that doesn't mean it's pure octane. The rating just means that it has the same knocking characteristics as a fuel that is 100% octane. I'm about to have a video on how the engines work, where I cover knocking, but I'll say really quick here that it's simply fuel burning before you want it to, and it's working against the engine. A cheap and easy way to boost the octane rating of a fuel, and thus reduce knocking, is to add lead. It's not legal in cars anymore, but that's what it did. Higher performance engines have higher compression ratios, and to prevent knocking, they added lead. We still use low amounts of lead in our AvGas, so it's called 100 low lead. It's the same anti-knocking characteristics as a fuel that is 100% octane. 100 low lead is always blue. 100 low lead is always blue. 100 low lead aviation fuel is bleu. If it's any other color, do not put it in your airplane. If your airplane's expecting 100 low lead, that is. Your airplane might be expecting diesel fuel, which is essentially kerosene, which is essentially Jet A. They're all pretty much interchangeable. Kerosene is simply a longer carbon chain than octane is. I can't find a definitive answer online, but the largest range I can find is between 10 and 18 carbons. So kerosene isn't a specific length like octane is. By the way, as your carbon chains get longer, you go past the fuels and into waxes and into tar-like substances and then eventually into plastics. What color is 100 low lead fuel, long pause? It's blue. Fuels are colored so you don't accidentally put the wrong fuel in. Or when you're checking your fuel sumps, you can make sure that someone didn't put the wrong fuel in. Okay, so you have the correct fuel and you're ready to go. But your engine's starting to run rough as you taxi. What's going on? Well, that is a side effect of the lead. Small bits of lead can get stuck on your spark plugs, and when they're fouled with lead, the spark doesn't fire correctly and the fuel doesn't burn as well. This usually happens at low RPMs with richer mixtures, so if your engine is running rough, try leaning the mixture a little bit. That'll heat things up and burn off the lead and carbon deposits. One more thing, though, that you need to know about AvGas is its density. Its density. It's about 6 pounds per gallon, which is quite a bit less than water. You'll use the 6-pound figure for flight planning in your weight and balance calculations. Go check out my weight and balance video if you're not sure how to do that. So, that's AvGas. It's blue, it has an octane rating of 100, and contains a bit of lead. And it's about 6 pounds per gallon. That lead can foul your spark plugs, and so lean the mixture to burn it off. I covered the procedure on how to do that in my How Engines Work video. But go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. That'll certainly help me out, as we'll leave in a bunch of comments and engaging in lively discussions down below. What are those shirts? And thanks for staying with me on 121 Point Mike.